Hi everyone, good morning or good afternoon, depending where you are. Welcome to today's guide to selecting the right meeting solution webinar. My name is Amy Gatta and I will be your host for today. Today I am joined by Joe Mann, the Director of Sales Engineering here at BlueJeans. He is going to provide a framework to help you assess your meeting solution requirements as well as discuss how you can effectively evaluate vendor platforms. Well, before I pass it off to him, let me just go over some little housekeeping items. For today's webinar, we're using our very own BlueJeans events platform, so all the attendees are in a one-way experience. If you have any technical issues during the webinar, please post them in the moderator chat, and I'll be sure to get to them as soon as I can. And if you have any Q&A questions for our presenter, Joe Mann, throughout any time today, feel free to add into the Q&A chat. And at the end of the presentation, we will start answering those questions as they come in. And lastly, but not least, this session will be recorded and sent to all of you after the event. So with that, Joe, take it over.
Great. Thank you, Amy, and thanks to everyone who joined online today for taking some time to learn about making the right choice for a meeting solution for your organization. So if we look at the business landscape today, organizations are in a race to drive productivity. It's at an all-time high. And digital transformation is upon us here. It's a buzzword we hear quite a bit, and products and services across the board are all going digital. The modern workforce is changing as well, not only where these workers and users are located, but the demographic as well. The modern office space has changed, and where people can do their work is also changing at a rapid pace. With the changes and additions in technology, IT optimization needs to be at an all-time high. IT organizations need to manage and deploy and secure more applications and services than ever before. Security is of the utmost importance. Costs need to be kept under control. Also, overall administration needs to be taken into account if you have redundant or overlapping services as well. And also you need to adapt services that are going to get good user adoption and reduce shadow IT. Lastly, new technologies are coming onto the market all the time, and you need to create the opportunity and space to evaluate these new technologies and understand if they're going to be a benefit overall to your organization. So looking at a meeting solution, it needs to work and support people how and where they are working today. That could be in an office, in a traditional office space with cubicles. It could be an open office space that you see in more modern workplaces. Also outside of the office, it needs to be flexible as well. This could be for mobile and remote workers. It could also be in non-standard work environments. Could be, hospital, construction site. The meeting solution needs to be flexible and adaptable to where and how you work. So looking at our evaluation framework, there are 4 key areas you want to take into account when you're going to evaluate a new meeting solution. First off is understanding what is your current solution? What do you have in place today? How is it utilized? What are the costs associated with it? Do these services work with each other? How well do they work with each other? And then what's the overall user feedback? Additionally, you need to take into account the drivers that are pushing for a change in your meeting solution. Moving on from that, you need to understand the business needs. So what are the overall business outcomes you'd like to have as a part of a new meeting solution, and how is it going to impact the company bottom line and overall cost structure? Taking all those into account, you would create your solution requirements and go out and start evaluating services to bring on board to your organization. Let's go ahead and start with evaluating your current solution. So looking at the landscape that you have in your organization today, you could have a number of different technologies in place. Most commonly, you'll see audio conferencing, some sort of audio bridge that has likely been in place for a while that a number of users are used to. Calling on the phone, enter an ID, have a discussion, very basic audio conferencing that still exists and gets heavy usage today. On top of that, you see a lot of web conferencing for desktop users, primarily for screen sharing and some collaboration features. You also see a lot of video conferencing in conference rooms. This can include legacy hardware, from Polycom, Cisco, Lifesize, and others, where you have an MCU bridge on premise to bridge in conference room participants. And then lastly, we've seen a recent rise in cloud office suites, which are the a bring your own device space where all the connections are available. You can easily grab your laptop, go into a meeting room, plug in, host a quick meeting, and move on. So gathering some feedback from users and their current meeting solutions, we've seen a number of barriers to providing productive meetings today with what users have in place. Number one is reliability. If the service doesn't work, you can't host a meeting. So the service has to be reliable for the users to take advantage of it. Also, inconsistent experience across multiple endpoint types has been a complaint. So the mobile experience is different from the desktop experience, is different from the conference room experience, if those experiences do exist. And poor audio quality is one that comes across as well. It's difficult to hear people. There's crosstalk, which can lead to longer drawn-out meetings, frustration with lack of communication, et cetera. Inability to quickly join is one that's also frustrating. We've all heard of or experienced ourselves the meeting tax that hits us all, where sometimes it can take 5, 10, maybe up to 15 minutes to join a meeting just to get started and get off the ground, creating frustration, causing delays in time, and across large enterprises that can add up to a lot of lost productivity. Lastly, we see a lot of feedback around not having an intuitive user experience, not being able to pick up the technology for the first time and just be able to use it and understand it without having to read some sort of user guide or manual. So let's take a look at some of the drivers. The top 5 reasons for acquiring Meeting Solution, according to Gartner today, are to create internal operational efficiencies. And this is to drive better communication across different departments and organizations, just have your company work more efficiently with having a better technology in place. You also want to drive innovation with the uses of technology. So improving the communication so people get things done faster, and then also leveraging technology enhancements and integration to bring the overall innovation process and innovation cycle shorter and faster. You also want to improve business process agility, and this allows organizations to change and be more adaptive to the changing environment of business in general. The pace of change is more rapid than it has been, and businesses need to be agile and be able to change direction at a moment's notice to keep up with market trends. Cost management is certainly a big factor and always has been. How much are you paying for these services? Are they being utilized? Are you getting value out of them? And do you have opportunities to consolidate and possibly save costs and enhance the overall user experience? And ultimately, you want to improve business outcomes. You want to reach your overall business goals. A meeting solution is a support mechanism to your overall business and allows you to either reach your business goals or can potentially hold you back from doing so if you don't have a proper meeting solution in place today for people to easily communicate and collaborate. So let's take a look at the business needs. Organizationally speaking, you want to have taken considerations as a buyer to evaluating a new meeting solution. First off, you want to form a decision team of stakeholders to represent different lines of businesses and organizations within your company, including IT, and then also direct end users as well. You want to make sure these stakeholders are involved early in the decision-making process so they can provide not only their feedback about the solutions, but also their input on what might not be working today and what they're looking for on the next meeting solution that you may bring in. You want to cultivate champions as well to help align the best solution for the organization and help you drive that change to adapt to a new solution. You also want to understand the types of meetings that are being held within your organization today. So beyond the services that are in use, what are the use cases? What are these people actually using this technology for? Is it just internal collaboration, internal meetings across different departments or within a department? Are they having external meetings with potential customers or partners? Are they doing learning or training sessions with new hires or ongoing education? And also, are they hosting any webinars or any town halls to broaden their reach either across the entire company or for customers and external partners? Next, you want to decide which of those meetings require improved user experience. The user experience is a huge factor in evaluating really any technology. So you want to understand what about the meeting solutions that you use today are not providing a great user experience. Is it specific to the conference rooms? Is it something on the desktop, mobile? Is it across the board? Is it the fact that those solutions you have in place today don't work together and cause frustrations and are in different silos? So you want to take into account what user experience improvements you would like to see out of that new solution. Lastly, here you want to decide who within your organization will be entitled to initiate the meeting. So who are going to be the schedulers and the hosters of meetings? Is this a very specific set of individuals that are just scheduling, for instance, on behalf of executives? Is it a specific department or is it a line of business? Or would you like to enable users across the board with a new meetings solution in a self-service model to have them utilize however and whenever they please? So beyond the organizational decisions, now you want to actually get into the core technology consideration when you're building your solution requirements here. First off is to determine some of the collaboration features that you want to see when you're actually hosting and interacting in a meeting. This could include screen sharing, whiteboarding and annotation, recording capabilities with the ability to easily share those recordings as well. Moderator controls that are available to any moderator to be able to control and manage meetings while participating, and then any chat and messaging capabilities that might exist within the application as well. So what do you want to do with your audio? And audio is a big point of discussion with a lot of organizations today. Do you want to have the audio be embedded in the solution? So have it be computer audio or VoIP? Do you want to integrate some sort of partner audio solution that you use today into your new meetings? Keep the same phone numbers and IDs that you're used to. Do you want to have it bundled together? Do you want to have the provider that you choose include audio as a part of their solution so it all can come in one single package? Looking at enterprises today, we see a lot of PSTN usage because people are used to the phone. They know it, they understand it, it works, and so they continue to use the phone as a comfortable way of dialing into a meeting. Looking forward, though, in new technologies, we see IP audio or voice over IP being utilized more often to reduce any costs associated with dialing into any third-party conferencing solution, and also it's just a better experience. It's a higher quality audio experience that makes for easy communication across the board. So is there a desire to improve meeting engagement for remote participant? That's something that's a big factor, especially as workforces are more dispersed than ever. Do you want to find more ways to engage your workforce? And that's typically done through video. Historically speaking, audio conferencing, there's a lot left to be not communicated properly because it's just people on the phone. Video is a far more effective way of communicating, and more organizations are adapting video for increased communication, but also more efficient communication, reducing overall meeting times. So what is the appetite for video within your organizations? Are you video ready? Are you more heavy on audio conferencing? Or are you somewhere in between, but you're ready to make a change and find a solution that can meet you where you are and help you take you towards that video solution of the future? You also want to consider on the network side, what are the impacts of video within your network? Do you need to undergo a formal network evaluation to understand the impact of going from a traditional web conferencing solution, which is screen share and phone audio, to a full video conferencing solution where you're enabling users across the organization to host video meetings whenever and wherever they want. So once you have all that taken into consideration from a technical standpoint, you want to create a short list of vendors that you want to trial, you want to evaluate, that are going to work within your desired deployment model. And with your list of requirements, you can easily go out and search what type of service offerings are going to meet those needs, start to build your evaluation criteria, and even work with them on a proof of concept that you can run again, with those selected end users that you have, the line of business owners, to really, as best you can, create a scenario that replicates a full deployment to gather the end user feedback and make sure the solution that you choose is going to be the right one for your organization moving forward. You want to utilize a decision team that you've made and those champions that you've built to ultimately, make that decision and get IT involved so that they can own and deploy and then manage that service moving forward. So looking at all those considerations that you have, BlueJeans, we pride ourselves here on being the meetings platform for the modern workplace. And we're bringing a number of different disparate technologies together. We've got video, audio, and web conferencing together, all in one service with the collaboration tools that people use every day. So simply put, you can use BlueJeans how you want and where you want. Case in point, right now, I'm actually in my hotel room here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I've got my laptop plugged into my cell phone on a hotspot, joining this webcast today. I need to be on the road and be flexible, and I'm able to do so utilizing our technology in a pretty easy and flexible manner. We build our solution to be simple, modern, and trusted. And we do so in ways that are targeted both towards the end user experience and then also on the back end towards easy IT management, security, and overall integrations. Looking at the simplicity of the solution, it is compatible across multiple operating systems, both mobile and desktop. We've also embraced the web browser as a way to join meetings, not requiring any downloads for external participants that may or may not have used BlueJeans before, utilizing WebRTC, which is a part of most major web browsers today, and then also integrating with conference room solutions that you may have heavy investment in today, Cisco, Polycom, Lifesize, and others, where you have an investment in the conference room, in the hardware that you have. You're still paying that maintenance on it. You want to utilize and get the most out of it. You can seamlessly integrate those types of conference rooms, not only being able to dial in to BlueJeans meetings, but also enable one-touch connectivity with easy meeting scheduling for increased end-user simplicity. We've also got Dolby Audio integrated to our service and with our conference room solution. Bringing that superior audio experience that I mentioned previously has been a challenge for users, not only bringing people into the voice over IP realm, but a superior experience even within voice over IP with crystal clear audio, easy communication across multiple devices, and just a better meeting experience. Our platform is also modern. We've got core product lines that meet a number of different needs and use cases today. We've got BlueJeans Meetings, which is your day-to-day casual communication, screen sharing, smaller meeting size. BlueJeans Events for large webinars and webcasting, which we're utilizing today for this webinar. And then BlueJeans Rooms to provide video connectivity and ease of use and flexibility for conference room spaces. Our service is also able to be embedded in custom applications. So if you have built your own application for your organization, for your customers, and you want to use the superior video experience that BlueJeans provides, you can embed our service within your own custom application to bring that solution together. We've got integrations with enterprise messaging applications as well, from Microsoft, HipChat, Slack, and Facebook Workplace to be able to easily launch from a chat conversation right into a BlueJeans meeting with just a simple command. And then from a scheduling aspect, we work closely with Microsoft and Google to have easy scheduling integrations, to have one-click addition of BlueJeans meetings to an invite that you have to work within your current workflow to make that experience even easy when you're scheduling meetings. Looking at the infrastructure side of the service, we've got a number of partnerships and integrations with service providers, creating the ability to have a direct connection over MPLS into our data centers, creating a higher level of security and better control over the quality of the video, avoiding any open internet connections where you can. And then also even leveraging future technologies with voice and AI, participating in the Alexa for Business program, allowing an Echo device to join a BlueJeans meeting, and our partnership with Voicera, leveraging artificial intelligence for gathering meeting notes and action items and transcripts. They have a digital assistant that can join any meeting and help you with all the note taking that I know myself included, a lot of us don't like to do where we don't have to. Our service needs to be trusted as well, and we've spent a lot of time and invested a lot in our infrastructure and the security of it and our overall service. So we've got a high uptime service. It's reliable, leveraging data centers across the world with Equinix, and then also Amazon Web Services to augment the service to have a true global distribution and availability. We've got standard security practices in place, and we participate in regular auditing through our SOC 2 compliance, and then also GDPR compliance, which just came recently. And with our backend analytics tool of Command Center, bringing all the analysis and control and visibility and ROI that you want to be able to understand about your service into a single dashboard and a single service that is a part of any BlueJeans product you use, so you can make sure to control, understand, and really realize the core differences and the key metrics to understanding that you actually did make the right choice in your meeting solution here. So with that, I want to actually open it up for some Q&A here and turn it back over to Amy. If Amy's been keeping an eye on some of the Q&A and questions that have come in. So Amy, do we have any questions that came in from the chat?
Yes, thanks, Joe, and great content. We already have some questions coming in, and for everyone that is still on the line, please feel free to still post questions in Q&A, and we'll be sure to address them. For some reason we can't get to them all, have no fear. We will respond to your answers offline and send them to you in an email. All right, so let's go to the first question here. We use a lot of web conferencing and have a mix of video conferencing rooms that don't work together today. Is that something BlueJeans can address?
Yes, we can. So that's when BlueJeans was founded, the very first thing that we did was actually connecting desktop with the conference room. We allowed Skype endpoints to dial in, with conference rooms being the same place. No one had ever done that before. So it's been more part of one of the key value propositions that we've had, from the very first time that we offered up our product for sale, and that's expanded since then. So it really is designed to be an all-encompassing platform to bring a number of different disparate, formerly disparate technologies together in a single solution for audio, video, web conferencing on the desktop, on a mobile device, in a conference room, all in the same place. Consolidating those services so it keeps it simpler, that you just have one service to go to all the time. And then also having that consistent user experience and flexibility to allow anyone to join from almost anywhere on almost any device.
All right, great. Another question from Jeff. How do you approach an existing audio solution today?
Yeah, that's a good one, Jeff, and we get that quite a bit, and you can approach it in a number of different ways. We have audio partners that we work with quite a bit to actually integrate their solution with BlueJeans. So if you do have an existing provider today that is working for you, and people know the dial-in numbers and the meeting IDs, and they're comfortable with that, you could potentially integrate that solution with BlueJeans and bring that into our advanced technology to be able to create the video experience that you want. Or we have our own dial-in options on a global scale. So you have options to dial in from more than 60 countries with BlueJeans in the standard offering that we include with our service at no per minute cost. So if you'd prefer to move away from any legacy providers that you have and just consolidate on one solution, BlueJeans has a robust offering of our own dial-in options for audio as far as the phone goes. Beyond the phone, which we still do see a lot of usage on the phone, as I mentioned during my presentation, we are slowly but surely bringing users into adopting and utilizing voice over IP or computer audio that's already existing in the platform. And that, in general, when you compare the quality of a phone connection on PSTN to VoIP audio, it's going to be superior. And then our partnership with Dolby actually takes it a level beyond that, where we have an experience that can be above and beyond even the standard VoIP audio that a lot of services offer today. So it's really allowing people a comfortable transition with using the phone if they still prefer to do that today, with those options as time goes on to adopt new and better options for audio and communication within meetings.
Awesome. All right, Joe, we have a question for Maria here. Once you've selected your meeting solution, what are some of the best practices around implementing?
Yeah, that's a great question, because a lot of my content today was how do you select the right meeting solution, but what happens when you make that choice? You still actually have to go and implement this solution and deploy and work on user adoption. So that is how you approach that is perhaps as important as the evaluation criteria and what you do to bring in a new meeting solution. So in general, part of the evaluation process is understanding the appetite for change with a solution. So if that appetite is there, then it's really working in partnership with not only IT but all the lines of businesses that would be utilizing the new service, and understanding why you're changing, what are the benefits of it, and creating those champions, as I mentioned, internally, so they can not only help you evaluate the solution, but they can help you in the deployment as well, because adoption is certainly key, and especially adoption early on. If you can get users to adopt and buy in early, then it creates not only a faster deployment, but an overall realization of value faster here. And BlueJeans can certainly help you along the way with that. We have a full suite of deployment services that we offer in program management, so that you can count on us to use the experience that we have in deploying enterprise customers to bring that expertise to your particular organization, create a customized plan that fits within the timetable that you need to decommission the old services, bring on BlueJeans, make sure the network is ready, make sure the users are ready, do user adoption training, and make that as seamless a process as we possibly can.
Awesome. Well, there was a follow-up question from Maria, but I think you kind of just answered. Her follow-up question was any tips to ensuring adoption. I think you just addressed it with onboarding and support, but if there's anything you want to expand upon.
Yeah, so that's the key, because a few people within IT, for instance, or even line of business leaders they can't force the end users to adopt. So it's really making sure that you're choosing a solution that is going to be widely adopted based on the usability and the advantages of that new solution, but also get creative about how you advertise the new solution. We've got customers that created their own name for BlueJeans within their organization and created initiatives and did mass communication, hosted town halls, just to really inform the end users and get them excited. So by the time you actually get to deployment, instead of giving users licenses and handing them out as you decide, you've got people coming to you and asking, when can I get my license? When can I get my hands on that new technology? Which obviously helps that new solution take off even faster.
All right, we have a question from Nicole at ADP. Outside of evaluating the technology itself, how do you recommend large organizations evaluate the cultural challenges that come with changing technology? With 56,000 employees, we have a lot of folks that resist video meetings. How do you address that?
Sure. Well, thank you. First of all, for your usage of BlueJeans. We love ADP here at BlueJeans, and enjoy working with you. And we know that having an employee base of 56,000, that there are going to be varying levels of demographics and user types, and those who are embracing new technology and those who are hanging on to the very last minute until they're forced to change. So the cultural aspect of change within an organization is really as important and sometimes even more important than the technology itself. Obviously, you want to choose a technology in which it can be easily adopted, but you also want to consider what are the end users comfortable with today and how can your technology meet them where they are. So it's a blend of bringing that new technology that is advanced, that is future-proofing your organization in a lot of ways, while still creating an easy on-ramp for those users that may be used to some legacy technology that's in place today. So you get a varying level of adoption or usage across the board, so that you can have the options that are most comfortable to those users as they take on a new technology, and then over time they can discover some of the different advantages to new technology, to utilizing video, to utilizing the embedded audio that we have with Dolby. So it's up to us to make our product easy to use, and then also to be adaptable to meet those people where they are as they adapt to that change within their organization.
Awesome. Okay, we have a question from Ryan. Can you please expand on the town hall function?
Sure, Ryan. Yeah, that's I briefly touched on it when I was covering kind of our simple, modern, and trusted slide there. But BlueJeans Events is our product that covers all events of all types. That could be something from a small-scale webinar or a training of some sort, all the way up to an all-hands meeting where you're live streaming to up to 15,000 participants. Our unique flavor of doing events is the ability to have multiple interactive participants, as Amy and I are on today. Amy is in San Francisco, I'm in Atlanta, and we're broadcasting out to all of you attendees, wherever you might be today in the world. And that's the beauty of BlueJeans Events, is bringing the collaboration and interactivity of a video conference or a web conference with not only the features and control, but also the capacity of a lot of the large events and webcasting services today. So it really is this best of all worlds in a lot of cases, to even perhaps allow you to consolidate some of the events and webinar services you might use today for multiple use cases down into one service.
All right, a few more questions. Where can I store the most common meetings numbers I use? There are other apps in the market that can do it.
The most common, so I'm assuming you're talking about like the most common meeting IDs that you might use. So what we do here at BlueJeans is we don't want to necessarily have to force you to memorize any sort of meeting IDs or have anything to remember. In that case, it's more about clicking a link that we create. So that can be either ad hoc or scheduled. So in an ad hoc situation with some of the messenger integrations that we have, I can easily, we use Slack here internally at BlueJeans. I can type in /BlueJeans. If I'm chatting with Amy, go right to video and easily get in. If I do want to have an ad hoc meeting outside of just a chat, every BlueJeans user has an always-on meeting room that they can set their own personal meeting ID to. A lot of us use our cell phone numbers or some easy-to-remember number so that we can give that to users and have them join anytime. And then lastly, we have the ability to schedule dynamic meeting IDs. So what we find from a lot of our end users is, we're talking about, meetings here, meeting in a central place. That is easily done on an ad hoc basis through the messenger integrations. And then also for scheduled meetings via the one-click scheduling options we have for Microsoft and Google. And for those invited users, all they have to do on their end is just click that meeting link and choose their preferred option to join. That can be a web browser with no downloads. It can be our app. It can be a conference room. But it's less about the IDs themselves and more just about general meetings and creating a one-click join process.
All right, two final questions. Matt would like you to expand a little bit more on your tech stack when he asks, how does your video and audio codecs speed and quality compare to other providers?
Sure. Yeah, that comes up a lot, and that is looking at BlueJeans as a cloud service, we have a lot of customers that come over from, on-premise infrastructure. So there is a concern about moving to a cloud service and what the bandwidth requirements are. So we have embraced a balance between HD video and then also bandwidth consumption. So we do 720p video and we manage bandwidth in a dynamic way to be able to, depending on your network conditions, get you to the best possible video resolution that you can achieve. And in most cases, you'll get that full HD video. On the audio side, we've got our integration with Dolby, which is a low bandwidth audio, is resilient to challenging network situations. So even if you have to be or happen to be in a coffee shop or a network that doesn't have great bandwidth, we will prioritize the audio and screen sharing over the video. So even if the video resolution goes down, or even if you get to a point where video isn't possible, we'll still maintain that solid audio connection so that you can keep the communication going and keep your screen share up. So it's a fully adaptable environment that we have as far as our ability to support different endpoint types and resolutions. But we embrace that HD video while balancing the needs for bandwidth consumption.
All right. So last question. We're going to end on a friendly, competitive question from Mark Allen. What are 2 or 3 key features or benefits of using BlueJeans over Zoom?
Okay. All right. Well, let's get right to the point here. So with BlueJeans, we've embraced a few different things that we stand behind as far as differentiating ourselves and what we offer with our service. So first off is the web browser as a joint option. So we're embracing WebRTC. For Zoom, you're going to be forced to download their application, and that's not always possible for users in different organizations, especially if you're going to be hosting external meetings. You want to remove those requirements where you can and get people into the meeting as quickly as possible, especially if you're in a sales scenario. You don't want to have the technology get in the way of you selling your product. We embraced WebRTC early on, and so our solution that we have is as mature as any WebRTC solution out there across the web browsers we support, and also just the features and overall functionality and quality that you'll get there from the web browser. Outside of that, the partnership with Dolby is a differentiator that we've got a lot of great feedback on. Being a video company, we still understand that audio is the most crucial communication element to a meeting. I can have a poor connection. My video could turn off right now, but I could still hold this meeting and communicate with you if the audio is staying on. So you have to have superior audio. You have to have reliable audio, which Dolby and their impeccable reputation in the field of home theater and theater in general have brought into the conferencing space with Dolby Voice. So that's been a big one for us as well. Command Center and the analytics are a big one. The level of depth that we go into and the granularity and reporting capabilities of Command Center are something that is beyond what is offered by a lot of other people. Not even in just Zoom, just the analytics and ability to do reporting and have visibility is a part of our service and included. And then lastly, I'll say it's all about the people here at BlueJeans. We have, as I mentioned previously, a full suite of deployment services. Once you come on board, and even as you're evaluating, you have a full team to help you evaluate. That's what my team does here at BlueJeans as sales engineers. We help our customers and prospects evaluate our technology, create the technical requirements and success criteria, go execute on them, and then transition that to our onboarding team, which you'll have a dedicated set of people to help you not only onboard, but have ongoing support with customer success, with technical account management, so that you have people from BlueJeans standing by our product after you come on board for any sort of future growth and usage, trying out new products that we have, and as we introduce new features, and just generally feeling supported as a customer of BlueJeans.
All right, well, thank you so much, Joe. We want to be respectful of everyone's time, and so this is going to conclude our session for today. We really appreciate all of you joining us. And just to reiterate, we will be sending out this recording to you all via email. And if you found this interesting or would like to see other webinars we have coming up, please go to bluejeans.com/events. Maybe you'll hear from Joe once again. And again, thank you all for coming today. Joe, thank you for your time, and we'll see you all later.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks, everyone.